Hi, this is Jen. In this video, I'm gonna have a presentation to talk about my thesis. Firstly, the topic is investigating the negative effects of ChatGPT on the detection of fake reviews, aggressive language comments, and phishing emails. Before diving into the detail, I'd like to introduce the outline of the presentation. There are three parts. The part 1 is introduction, including motivation and research objectives. Part 2 is methodology, containing initial setup, prompt design for ChatGPT, and test cycle. The last part is results evaluation, including findings, limitation, and opportunities. Okay, let's jump into the first part. So the motivation of the project is that ChatGPT is currently popular because of its strong capacity of coding and language processing. However, at the same time, the capacity could bring challenges and potential risks for some tasks, such as cybersecurity issues. Furthermore, the newest version of ChatGPT was published with less than 1 year ago, so the comprehensive research evaluating its potential impacts remains limited. So based on that, I'm so interested to know whether ChatGPT can fall state-of-the-art language model for malicious content detection, and how. Depending on the motivation, the research objectives in this project are determined. So firstly, by comparing the performance of language models using the common dataset and the ChatGPT dataset, identify whether ChatGPT can decrease the performance of the modern language models. Secondly, by examining the differences in prediction performance, quantify the extent of the adverse effects of ChatGPT on 3 areas, and evaluate how the effect varies across these scenarios. Lastly, through implementing experiments of leveraging datasets from ChatGPT as a training dataset, evaluate whether it is helpful against the harmful effects of ChatGPT, and validate whether it is practical. So, the research objectives bring the 4 tasks in this research. So we can see the task 1, 2, 3 are targeting the 3 areas to evaluate the model's performance against the ChatGPT contents. And task 4 is utilizing the training datasets by ChatGPT and evaluate whether it is helpful against the ChatGPT contents compared with task 1. So the setup of the task 4 is the same as the task 1. And in addition, for all the tasks, the models are based on the BERT model. Okay, so this part is prompt design for ChatGPT. So here is a task 2 example to show how ChatGPT manipulate the test dataset. So we can say the test dataset text is talking about the negative comments about Amazon. And the following boxes describing the different prompt method by ChatGPT. So I need to mention that ChatGPT cannot directly generate the aggressive language commands due to its ethic limitation. So the only available method is rephrase the test dataset. But sometimes it still didn't work because the text contains extremely aggressive words that ChatGPT cannot directly generate. So I use another prompt design to rephrase the paragraph with less aggressive. And here are all the results here. So let's have a look at the specific response. So compared with the task dataset from OLED, I think the ChatGPT's comments are more like stating the facts rather than express some emotional response. Okay, so this part is a test cycle. Here is an example of task 1 feature reviews test cycle. So firstly, the test dataset will manipulate to build up a test dataset baseline, and of course obtain the baseline results. After that, the negative values parts were selected to replace by the ChatGPT's comments through different method and versions. We can see the rephrasing method and the randomly generating method, and then obtain the test datasets and classification reports. So finally, compare all the results. So this is another test cycle example for task 4. Yeah, we can see firstly, using ChatGPT-4 to random generate 2,000 datasets and add them to training datasets as a new training dataset. After that, updating the whole training process as well as the models. And again, repeat the test cycle based on the previous slide, and finally compare the results. All right, so based on the methodology, some results were obtained, and the key findings are summarized in this presentation. So let's have a look at the first point. So ChatGPT indeed affects the model's performance negatively in 3 areas. Okay, so based on the figure, so compare with the baseline. So all the ChatGPT's methods had a positive performance reduction percentage values to support this first finding. So the second finding is randomly generating contents is more challenging than rephrasing method. Yeah, we can see, so the random method had a higher performance reduction values compared with the rephrasing method. And the third finding is ChatGPT-4 is more challenging. Again, we can see ChatGPT-4, the method had a higher performance reduction value compared with the 3.5 version. In particular, in task 2, we can see the figure, like the method by rephrasing with less aggressive, achieve a huge performance reduction percentage values. This can be explained that, so this method actually decreased the level of aggressive comments by replacing some more neutral words, which could lead to the model harder to detect such contents and got these results. So finally, the task 4 training data by ChatGPT can be adapted to the challenging by ChatGPT itself. Based on the figure, we can see the original model had a 40% performance reduction, but after the dataset augmented by the ChatGPT, the performance reduction achieved a 6% values, which is a huge improvement against the ChatGPT contents. All right, so apart from the results, there are limitations and opportunities. In terms of limitation, the tasks, in particular the task to manipulate method, as I said before, rephrasing with less aggressive method could result in the results much lower than the baseline, because the rephrase comments become neutral. And so in the future, there might be a better solution to address these problems to increase the reliability of the evaluation. So additionally, in task 3, the dataset was based on the 2007, because at that moment I could not access open resource for the recent dataset to validate the model. So yeah, in the future, if it is possible, more recent datasets can be considered. So for the opportunities, because in this task I only focus on the feature reviews, so in the future I definitely can deploy the method to aggressive language and phishing mail tasks. So in addition, these tasks only focus on the BERT-based models, and in the future, other types of model can be considered. That's it. Thank you for your watching.